Hey friends, the sun is out. Whew, about to get really hot. But I promised in the last video that I was gonna take you with me on more of a vlog gardening maintenance video. So you're gonna watch me do some cleanup, add some new things, tell you what I'm gonna plant maybe, stuff like that. Hope you stick around and enjoy. You see what happened to my broccoli, and this is why I can't plant broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts in the summer, spring, because yeah, it doesn't do well at all. So that was my trial. I wanted to see how things do on this side, because last year I did plant them over there and it was super hot. So this was a different attempt. It was just going to be a learning curve. I know now that I'm not going to do this until fall. Just so you know, everything that I'm going to remove is going to be cut off from the ends here. I'm going to leave the roots in because that is actually a lot of food for the worms and it maintains the soil alive. So just the tops. One of the things that I'm currently loving, and I can't believe that I've been gardening without, is this Corey knife. It's got a serrated side. It's about 7 inches. It's got a sharp end here. You can sharpen it. Emerging Green sent this to me and I'm very thankful for it, because or else I wouldn't have tried it. And I've used this for everything, and this is going to be my main tool to use today. So I highly recommend it. I will link it below if you're interested, and I'm going to show you how I use it. You see my cilantro, it's already bolting, even on this side where we have shade. This is how easy this thing is. I'm just cutting it there, and voila, that's it. We've done some cleanup already, and did you know that you can eat the blooms of the chives and they taste delicious? I'm also going to be doing a lot of cleanup in between the strawberries here. All this stuff is actually really good for compost, but it might hide some pests like ants, and I don't want ants, so I'm cleaning it up, and we're going to do a little bit of harvesting as well. See all these little bitty strawberries? They're actually so good. I don't know what these are. Oh, I dropped one. They're super sweet. They're so tiny though. But you would be surprised how much flavor these little bitty strawberries have. The dragon's egg surely didn't do well here, so we're going to completely take it off. I think I was only able to try 2, and it wasn't my favorite, so I don't know if it was just the location, but I might try it later. Didn't work out right now. Look at this beauty. We're going to harvest this cucumber, and I have a lot of dry pods here that we're going to harvest as well. Now here we are watering, and I'm not using anything but just the regular hose tip so that I can get as much water as quick as possible. I don't want to stay here too long because I've got a lot to do today. I've got my cooling frog towel. I've learned that I can't survive without it out here. This is so hot. And it's 8:30 in the morning. You see all the tomatoes that are not going on the arbor, so I'm gonna fix that. We had some harsh winds as usual and sort of snapped this one. So I need to lift it and tie it back to the arbor. It is getting hot. You have to snack on your food. That's basically what I do with all my cherry tomatoes. I don't ever bring them home or inside because I eat them raw every single day. They're like grapes to me. These yellow tomatoes are my favorite so far. The birds don't attack these, and they're so sweet. I'll have my random tomatoes there picked on, but you know, I'm okay. Right now I'm really concerned with my mushroom tomatoes. I'm gonna come and put some organza bags because I do love when they ripen on the vine. We're gonna stop for a little bit because I need to go to the garden center and get some things and then cool off because it's really hot and I don't want to be this hot at the garden center. And I forgot to mention, I'm also going to be talking about things that I will do again and I won't do again. So keep watching. Well, I am back. It's been a few hours and I want to show you what I picked up from the garden center. I'd been looking for some African blue basil for a while and I finally found it, and I found it blooming. I'm excited to add this to the beds just because they get so beautiful. I have a different kind of basil. Over here it's the cinnamon something. But the African blue basil gets a lot more pink than this one, so I really wanted to incorporate it here. On the previous video I mentioned a heat tolerant spinach. This is the Malabar and I have two varieties. This is a trailing one and then you have this one in the back that's a green spinach. I'm excited to try both of them. I've never used them before. I don't know what it tastes like, but I eat a lot of spinach in my smoothies, so I could really benefit from having. I was hoping to find a lot more okra than these just because I wanted to fill one of the beds, but this is all I was able to get that was good looking, so 4 it is. Then you see this beautiful reddish purple color over here. This is an Asian shiso, I believe that's how you pronounce it. It just grabbed my attention because of the color and I really want to try something new. The foliage is pretty thick, so I think it'll do okay even though it says full sun. I'm hoping that it tolerates our heat. I will put it in the side, not closer to the evening sun, and hopefully that keeps it alive. I have some more African basil that I'll add somewhere else, and then I've got some vincas that tend to do really good with our heat here, and they reseed and I think they're just a beautiful color. The only thing about vincas is that you'll see the blooms drop everywhere, which I'm not a fan of, but the color is beautiful and they do so well here with our heat that I decided to try it this time. And then here in the front, aren't these gorgeous? This is a celosia that's going to be heat tolerant as well, and I don't have these colors right now and our beds really need them. And then over here on the side I found this new zinnia that I'm going to use to replace some of the ones that died over here on the orchard. You see how terrible my baskets look? They've never looked this bad and I'm so anxious to do something different. I found this at the garden center and it really grabbed my attention. It is called Blew My Mind. It was blooming so beautiful and I think it looks really good with some vincas, so I'm going to put that in the center and the vincas on the side just while this heat is going on, and then in the fall I'll put some more edibles here. But it's just going to be the same thing. This petunia, this is Violet de Bordeaux, is the one that has done the best, and I think it's because I had a drip system problem over here and over here. The tatsoi seems to do okay with the heat, but I'm not sure how much longer it has until it gets too hot. But all the lettuces are pretty spent. The kale is somewhat there, but it all needs to go. Then over here I have some new additions. I purchased these pots. I think they make a great addition here. And I found this sage that was blooming so beautiful that I couldn't resist, and I think this is all I'm going to put in this pot. So once I fill those up, I will let you know how it goes. First thing I'm going to do is harvest some of these sunflowers so that I can remove these completely. Had to bring out the loppers to cut down my mammoth sunflower. Now it looks very bare. I don't think I'm gonna do the mammoth sunflowers anymore, just because I don't have the space and it's only one head, and I truly love the multiple heads. I think I get more of a show. It looks more cascading. I hope you can see me. Definitely not in the raised beds because it just takes up too much room. Lesson learned. I should have already learned that, but I had to do it again. All this good stuff is gonna go into the compost. So look what I found. Big ol' ant pile underneath. I need to move this marigold. I'm gonna use this. I love this thing. I think I've already told you that. So I'm gonna see if I can move it because this is too much here, and probably add in a African blue basil in this bed. I haven't figured out what I want to do yet. I'm kind of back and forth, but I wanted to show you. I was stretching these out to see what's good and what's not. And I wanted to point out right here, look at this. This is a lot of squash vine borer egg. You want to remove all those suckers. A lot of them. Because they will eat up your plant just like this one. So you see how this looks right here? It looks pretty dead. And guess what I have growing there? And I have to harvest this one because the plant is dying. I'm also gonna clean up some of the foliage from my favorite squash. A lot of it is dying. So I'm not sure, I think I might have gotten the squash vine borer there, but we're gonna try to save it because we still have some fruit. This one has been my most prolific. I think I've harvested at least 20 squashes. This is the time to make hard decisions. I decided to take off all the squash except for one, just because it didn't look right. I didn't plan that correctly, and I think the next time I'm gonna do the vining on the arbor, just because they're big and pretty, but it wasn't working out. So I left the watermelon to see if it would kick off. I don't have any watermelons. By this time last year I did, and I don't like that. I prefer watermelons than squash. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna try to do something pretty here because this is a walking focal point. That's why I'm placing the celotias there. Probably add some more of the okras here instead of where I have them. Sorry. And my thoughts are going to be, once I remove the garlic, that the squash would do good in this area because I can go on both ends. So I can come out here and attend to the vines and see if maybe that works out. Another thing, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I guess it's my first time with garlic, but the bulbs are not forming, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. We are mid-June, and I think I didn't fertilize them as much as I needed to. We'll see. Guess what? It's another day. I didn't finish. I still have a lot to do, so I had to split it into multiple days, but you're gonna see this all in one. I did in fact leave the new okra here. I added the vincas for the color, and the celotias are doing good so far. It's been a couple days. I wanted to show you my first okra that is past due. So I'm gonna take her down. I do have another one. So we're gonna start to get our okras. Over here on the tomato side, there's some cleanup to do. It doesn't look too bad because I've been tying everything over to the cattle panel, but I did want to show you this that I'm so excited for. And if you can see, we've got our first mushroom tomatoes. You see what I did there? I used masks to cover it up so the birds wouldn't get it, and I think it worked. Let's take it off and see how the tomato looks. Look at the size of the mushroom tomato, and it's gorgeous. Extremely ripe and ready for me to try. My first mushroom tomatoes. Look at this size. There goes my cleanup. Now it looks more green than yellow. We're gonna move on to carrots. This is new. I just moved this one from the baskets I have in the front What I'm gonna do is remove most of the carrots so that now I can put all my seeds here of the new stuff. Now let's do some harvesting. Well, those didn't really work out. Yep, that didn't work out. I don't want to take off the big ones. Those are the Mampuki, something like that. I'm just gonna chop the name. These didn't do well, so I need to check what variety this is. Yeah, they don't look like good carrots. But I'm gonna leave these intact because those are supposed to get really big and long. I really wanna give that a try. Stuff like this, I'm gonna come back and thin out. This is too much. It should be more like this. That one got stuck. These are supposed to be really long, you see? And this is what it'll be for now. I left a few. I even took off some of the ones in between just because I want to let these grow as big as they can get, and they'll provide some shade for the back so I can get something growing back there. Promising carrots. They're really long. The next thing I'm going to remove is the celery. It's too bunched up and I need to put my new spinach. I'm gonna leave one just to see how it does. I don't know what this is. I keep forgetting, but it's been here since the winter storm. It was behind all the celery. It's still green and it's kind of strange. I don't know what it is. This is what I'll be adding. It's the Malabar spinach and it trails, so I'm gonna add some bamboo stakes here and hopefully get it to trail up. And then this Asian seashell, something like that, to give it some color over here on this end. This is somewhat the look I was going for. My famous zucchini has another to harvest. I'll just show you what that looked like. It's so pretty. I also have a pepper that's ready. And I believe I've got a couple more over here. I laid out my sunflower scraps and then all of the birds came to have a feast. I really love that. I was able to watch them through my kitchen window. Most of all the seeds are gone. Guess what I also got? Because this video is about everything. My worms. We're gonna get this cleaned up and start new. This is gonna be my new spot until I figure something else out. This time I purchased 2,000 instead of 1. We're going to reuse the FedEx box as the bedding and see if it works. Okay, here we go. See how our friends do in this new location. There's so little. I could tell the difference between the ones that I had. They were more adultish looking. These are very slim. They're probably super hungry. I think the worms will be happy now. Either way, I'm gonna set a frozen water bottle with a small drip in it just to keep it cool. I'll figure out if they need to have more bedding material in there to keep them a little bit cooler. The bin is empty and I'm not gonna put what I had there before. I'm just gonna add it to the compost bin and let it finish there because look, it's a lot. This was the old home and it's just not gonna work. It's too much stuff. I still have a lot of cleaning to do. I actually like to leave the foliage on the floor so that it can dry and it's easier to stuff into the compost bins. Once I pick up, all I'm gonna do is add the new seeds. forgot to mention, we are doing a neem oil treatment for all of my spider mites. So you want to do it at night, and this is the neem oil. I will link it. It's from Amazon. That's what I'm using. This is a natural dish soap. If I want to spray my plants, I want to put the best kind, and this is what I use for my dishes. And then we have a 2-gallon sprayer. Because it's 2 gallons, we're going to add 2 ounces of the neem oil and 2 ounces of the dish soap. Because I don't want to pick it up and shake it, I'm just going to roll it. I'll link the sprayer if you're interested. All we do is pump until there's tension like that, then it's ready. And we're gonna spray everything on top of the leaves and underneath the leaves. Give it a good soak. So this is the last day we're gonna do things, and I told you that I was going to put some seeds out, so I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do with those. My garlic is having a hard time, but I am going to put the squash at the very end. So we're gonna use these 2 varieties, the Table Queen Acorn and the Buttercup. I've never grown these before. These should do well vining up here on the trellis. I'm going to put some soil amendments here. I will probably remove some of the garlic so that I don't disturb the seedlings. And then on this side, I'm going to also plant this squash, the butternut, the honey boat, and the honey nut. These are all vining squashes. Somehow didn't read that clearly. I didn't think these were vines, but they are, so we're gonna try to put them on the arbor. So I'm gonna get rid of the cucumber once those germinate, and we're also gonna harvest this today. Some of this garlic is in the way here, so I'm going to pull it so you get to see what this is. I don't think it's much because I've been checking this and we don't have any bulbs forming. But you know, I have to make room for the next, and here we are. Yeah, this looks more like an onion than a garlic. Cleaned a little bit. I'm going to use some of my own compost, some of the store-bought leaf mold compost, and some castings. Do you see my Autumn Beauty sunflower? Well, I really like them in the corners, so I'm going to add one on every corner and hopefully create some type of another archway. Over here where the carrots are, I'm going to add these 4 melons over along the edge, and then we're going to use the Armenian cucumbers along the trellis with the sunflowers in the corner. I love it when it looks this new and dark. I forgot to mention over here on this corner, I'm not a big fan of the Atomic Bomb tomatoes yet. I haven't tried them, but they've taken forever. And then the bumblebee really didn't produce. So I'm going to replace them with these 2, Black Creme and Black Beauty, since I had this one on the other side, but it really didn't grow, I think because it's shaded. But we're gonna try those over here, and once they germinate and they're out, then I'll remove what I already have because I really don't want to see it all bare. And then on this side we have the black cherries or blackberries that are not tasty. Like, these are not my favorite at all. These are very bitter and I don't like them, so we're not going to do it again. So I am going to add another one of the Super Sweet 100 on the other side because that's what I have here, and I love these. They are super sweet. They are totally worth it. Windy as usual, but I love it because it's hot outside. Last thing, I don't want to touch my face is to water. We're gonna water everything. Now I'm going to water every day, in the morning, in the evenings, not in the bare sun, just to keep them moist, and hopefully they all germinate. That's it. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.